Shalom, Kahalo Yahabashim Yahushua Shebakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua One, back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you. All right, so I'm going to get a quick precept, and then I'm going to just let this information on the update, I'm going to just let it play because it's very good information. So, let's see. Let's get, let's get second Ezra's 15. Second Ezra's 15. And what? And 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. What's the key word here? World, as in world war. Woe means destruction. If we go here, and we go to, let's go to Revelation 8. Okay, let's look at this word woe real quick. Revelation 8, okay, and 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. These woes are the three world wars. Woe, woe, woe. All right. Now, when we go to 9, okay, the fifth trumpet, it says from 1 down to 4 to 11 is describing World War I, woe number 1, right? And then 12 says, one woe, the first World War, is past. And behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. Okay? Now we jump up to 11. That's World War I. One woe is past. We jump up to 11. And 14. That's 10. Salaka. And it says the second woe is past. World War II is over after that dispensation of time. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This is World War III. It doesn't say it was past. They haven't announced or declared World War III yet. But my point is this word woe is speaking of the World War. Now we go back to 2nd Ezra and we read 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. World war. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. This sword can be anything from a gun. It could be a knife, a gun, up to a howitzer, up to an ICBM nuclear missile. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. The ICBMs are coming in World War III. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay? This is World War III. All right, so get yourself ready. All right, it's coming quickly. All right, so this is redacted from yesterday. Is today the 5th or the 6th? 6th. Hold on. There's the 6th. Okay, so this is 2 days ago. All right, and let's watch this. Look, the globalist cabal, right, is pushing for a tactical nuclear strike, and they're warning that it is coming soon. Not Vladimir Putin is going to do it. The globalists are going to do it and blame it on Putin. He knows it. Okay. Is this another false flag operation to get us into World War III? Isn't that how the globalists do it? Putin readies for a massive military operation now that the Donbass referendums are complete. Has he even started the war yet? This is crucial information. Okay? This guy knows that the setup is in. All right? They shut down the pipeline. OPEC responded. What are they about to do? Any day, some monumental shit is about to go. Nord Stream was monumental. Don't get it twisted. It's on and cracking. All right? The crescendo of destruction has begun. So let's watch this.
All right, let's get to our top story, which is the war in Ukraine. And I want to start with a question, sort of a thought question for you, which is I'd like to propose the idea here that perhaps the war in Ukraine hasn't even started yet. Think about that for a minute. Like we've been told, of course, the past 7 to 8 months, since February, when this war or invasion of the Donbass region actually started, that's the real start of the war. But what if it hasn't started at all? I'm just going to let it hang out there for a second. Let it hang out there like a dangling participle. And you guys let me know in the chat if you think it's actually started or if it's about to. We'll come back to this.
This is a really good channel. Okay. They're fair and balanced on both sides. And just questions like that. Go and read the responses, read the comments, right, to get a more even-keeled perspective on what other people are thinking, not just them. You gain a lot of insight by reading other people's comments. Right? We're not going to do that right now for the sake of time, but I suggest you subscribe to this channel, Redacted, if you want to stay up on geopolitics, the latest geopolitics, not from a skewed version. Not that Vladimir Putin, it's all his fault and we got to take him out. That sounds a lot like what happened to Saddam Hussein. Right? He only became the enemy when, after you used him, the weapons of mass destruction, who gave them to him? Where did he get those WMDs that they couldn't find? All right. Well, they came from the whore, the United Snakes of America. That's how they knew he had them. But he had already gotten rid of them. And they bombed his ass out anyway. So you can't, if it's not balanced, if it's all Vlad's fault, something's wrong. There's no balance there.
In a moment. But first, American cities are preparing for a nuclear war. Now, if you're traveling on the subway in New York City, or you're in Los Angeles, or you're in San Francisco on the BART system, you may have noticed, if you're in New Jersey on the train stations, you might have noticed that there are nuclear preparedness signs popping up.
And let me just say this real quick. Anybody, and you got people out there, yeah, it's all Putin's fault. We need to take him out. How stupid is that? You could just take Putin out and he ain't going to get a lick in. He ain't going to shoot no bombs over here. How stupid are you? What you should be saying is, how do we resolve this peacefully? But guess what? That ain't happening. Your stupid ass is going to get your ass blown up because you're blaming everything on Putin. And it takes two people to conduct a war. It takes two sides, not just one. Okay? So, hey, the sooner it's over, the better for me, because the kingdom will come in. Anyway, carry on.
But take a look at this on your screen, what this says here. Radiation emergencies, what should you do? Get inside. Now, this was all over Reddit yesterday. People were like, I can't believe these are popping up all over the place. Philip, I know how much you love Reddit. I don't know if you saw this on Reddit yesterday, but
I did not. I actually didn't do as much Redditing as usual yesterday. So
See, and you feel and you sound happier, to be honest with you.
I'm so much happier.
So this is what you would have seen on Reddit yesterday. Get inside is the first little picture. Stay inside is the second picture. And I love that they've got in this little picture there's a picture of a guy with a dog too. Like get inside, stay inside. And third is stay tuned. Like stay tuned to the radio or your favorite television station for the very latest.
So what are you looking at? Okay, this obviously has to do with nuclear radiation. All right, how do you go inside if your whole building has been turned into vapor and dust? So this isn't talking about ICBM that'll light everything on fire and the elements melt with fervent heat. This is talking about a tactical nuke where you'll still have a house to get inside and then go wash off. Okay? So what's coming? You got to learn how to read the tea leaves, because guess what? You blaming everything on Vladimir Putin is going to get you into a nuclear war. All right? It's not going to go one way. That's why they call it MAD, mutually assured destruction. Are you ready? I'm ready, and I can show you how. I can show you in the scriptures how this thing is going to play out. And if you don't know what the conclusion is, how are you safe from anything? Some people will be safe. Ooh, there's that word again. Safe, saved. Saved from what? Oh, saved. You saved from what? The nukes haven't started flying yet. But what it means to be saved directly involves the nukes. How will you be saved from the nukes? And there ain't no underground bunker that you can go to that's going to save you from that. All right? It'll save you long enough to get your ass pulled out of there and go head first into some shackles and get ready to pick cotton. All right? So how safe is that?
Very confusing graphic. I was like, what is that?
It's a guy just watching TV like a drone. Like just sitting there with its back.
Oh, that's a person?
That's a person listening to a radio, just like with their back to us at the very bottom of the screen.
That's terrible graphic. I thought it was a spray bottle in a temple.
A temple. Yeah. So, of course, this is all a lie. We would be wiped off the map. You wouldn't be able to stay inside, right? You wouldn't be able to stay inside and be tuned to the radio. There'd be no radio.
Depending on the level of weapon that was used, okay? So read in between them. If the weapon was big enough, no. But what this information is geared towards a smaller nuke that didn't destroy the whole city. They have those two. What is a neutron bomb? Okay. What's the difference between a nuclear bomb and a neutron bomb? Okay. With a neutron, the city is still standing. The people are gone. They got vaporized, but the city is still there. So, you can't just look at things for face value. You got to study this thing.
At all. There'd be no television stations. It would all be wiped away, especially if this happened in like the New York City metro area.
Of course.
It would be destroyed. It's the same lie they told us in the 1950s, right? The ridiculous duck and cover advertisements. Remember this?
What is the real story of January 6th?
You see where this thing is going? Look at this. Okay, what's going to happen here while the war is going on over there? Right? What will be going on here?
He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Yeah, that'll help you, right? That'll help you. Sammy the turtle or whatever his name is, duck and cover. So what happens though if you get covered in radiation, right? And from the nuclear bomb, you're inside now, sitting with your dog, listening to the radio, covered in radiation. Just have mommy wipe off some of the radiation with some soap, right? Watch.
You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered.
Oh.
Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face.
Save us all.
Duck and cover.
Yeah.
So what is the point? You might be saying this to yourself. What is this nigga? What kind of update is it? Here's what the update means. Here's what's trending today. Nukes. You could try to run from, you could try to duck and cover all you want to, but guess what? We're in the day where nukes are trending. All right? So do you have a nuke plan, or are you just hoping that they just don't come? Well, what does the scripture say? The scripture is full of nuclear weapons. The scriptures are full of what the world calls UFOs. Okay, and those things go hand in hand. Matter of fact, the only way to escape the nuclear annihilation is to be abducted by aliens, to get beamed up into a spaceship before the nukes hit. All right? We play a little bit more of this, and then I'll show you that in the Bible. Right?
Save us all. So NATO is really excited about launching a nuclear war. You might have seen this all weekend. It's continuing to unfold, and since our show last night, it's gotten even worse. They want to keep pushing the idea that Putin is about to launch nuclear weapons. These drum beats have gotten louder since our last night's show, and just look at what the Western press is saying this morning.
Really quickly, does it matter who launches a nuke? Whether it be NATO, whether it be the United States, whether it be Russia, does it matter? Because once it's on and popping, it's on and cracking. That's what matters. What matters is your ass about to get burned up or not? Not whether, well, it's Russia's fault. It's Vladimir Putin. Your ass is still going to get burned up. Okay? So does it matter? Listen to the language that's being used. It's this. Nuke, 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 nuke Putin, nuke NATO, nuke, 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 nuke. Every day, every moment of every hour. And it's not going to ever go the other way until the nukes drop. All right? This is the time that we're in.
Russian nuclear sub disappears armed with doomsday weapon. So, of course, NATO wants Putin to use some sort of tactical nuclear weapon. It will give them all the excuse they need to launch a full-scale attack of Russia. And here's...
What is doomsday? Doomsday is the day of the Lord. What is the day of the Lord? When the nuclear bombs go off. Okay? And why do they call it the day of the Lord? Because he's going to come back, right? And what the nukes don't destroy, the one that you ignorantly call Jesus, he's going to destroy. Now, is he going to destroy everybody? No, he's going to save some people on those spaceships. And this is the story. The story deals with this word, this day, these things, and what they call UAP or UFOs. A little more we'll listen to.
Disappears armed with doomsday weapon. So, of course, NATO wants Putin to use some sort of tactical nuclear weapon. It will give them all the excuse they need to launch a full-scale attack of Russia. And here's another news report. It says experts. Here's more proof of that. This article says, if Putin uses nukes, U.S. could wipe out Russian forces in Ukraine. Oh, so you want this to happen, basically. You want... Here's an expert saying this. We want this to happen. The expert cited in the article actually says this. Also acknowledged, he says, that such a direct U.S. or NATO military strike against the Russian military, even in response to the Russian use of tactical nuclear weapons on the battlefield, could spiral out of control.
That's not what you want to hear from experts. That we will not be able to control this once the whatever is out of the barn.
But also it's obvious. Yes, of course it would spiral out of control. So
Yes.
You want Putin to launch a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine so that then that's just one little nuclear bomb, it's contained, and now we have a full-scale NATO invasion or just destruction of Russia. Like, that's what you want to have happen, and nobody else would launch any nuclear weapons after that. It would just be this little, test. Here you go. That's not going to happen. Of course it would spiral out of control.
It's already spiraling.
Retired general and former Pentagon official tells CNN the U.S. should consider launching a nuclear strike on Russia. Listen to this. Crazy.
CNN has learned that the U.S. is developing contingency plans for possible Russian escalation in its war in Ukraine, including the potential use of tactical nuclear weapons. Also, the possibility of what one source described as a nuclear display. That would be something short of a nuclear strike, including the possibility of a military strike on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. So this shows how serious.
First of all, we'll go on in a second here. So they're going. So let's just be clear: an area that Putin now controls,
They would strike on it.
with a nuclear attack on the nuclear power plant.
Do two nukes cancel each other out?
Like, this is the kind of Western garbage. This is CNN. Like, this is CNN ridiculousness.
The U.S. is taking these Russian nuclear threats. They've been developing contingency plans for some time. I wonder, can you describe what such contingency plans might involve?
Well, I think, first of all, there's the public face of all of this, which is how we communicate to Russia what we're prepared to do, what we're not prepared to do. My personal view is I think we ought to be deliberately vague on what we are prepared to do. Anytime you draw a red line, that commits you to a certain course of action. Look, I think it's fairly simple to lay down the options. It could be the soft side of it, which is doubling down on sanctions, doubling down on export controls, ranging all the way.
So soft is draconian sanctions that are going to get people killed because they have no food, right? That's soft, according to this general. What about peace? How is that soft?
So
That might be soft. Like, maybe peace would be the first. That might be an option.
Right. How about now we come to the table and say, we're done with war. People are dying.
So he goes on. Listen.
Look, I think it's fairly simple to lay down the options. It could be the soft side of it, which is doubling down on sanctions, doubling down on export controls, ranging all the way to a nuclear response of our own and everything in between.
Wow.
So a nuclear attack.
Okay.
So everything in between. What do you think?
I'm horrified. I'm just thinking of like, oh, okay, what does this mean for the rest of us? Because it's wherever it might be, we'll have fallout for everybody. And up to this point, it's really infuriating to see these anchors kind of saying, oh, well, that might happen over there. I'll be okay over here. And I feel comfortable then not putting anything on the air that will promote peace and just sort of fear mongering and ratcheting this up and falling in line. We're going to talk in the last segment later about how the media has no problems promoting war because it just feels like it hasn't touched them and it feels very elitist.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. You want to watch the rest of this? Redacted channel, October 4th. This is 2 days ago. Globalists are pushing nuclear attack, and Putin knows it. Where is it going? All right. Well, let's consult the Holy Scriptures and find out how this thing is going to play out. All right. We're already here. Okay. So, in order to escape mutually assured destruction, okay, but first of all, America in its entirety is going to be on fire. All right. How do you escape that? Right. Well, how you gonna get out of it? See, here's what you're saying right now. How you gonna get out of it? Well, I'll show you. All right. To be saved is to be abducted by aliens. Who are the aliens? Well, you would call, because you've been indoctrinated into believing what comes across that television, you believe that the aliens, right? You believe in aliens. You don't believe in God and the angels, but you believe in aliens, right? Well, somebody lied and painted the face of God as an alien, the face of the one you ignorantly called Jesus as an alien, and the angels, somehow they're little green men. They're not. Okay? They look like human beings. And they look like human beings that have skin and have color on their skin too. And we could go into it, okay? We could go into what color God is, and he looks like his son, and the angels look like him too. All right? And here's the color that it described: burnished brass. Brass, bronze, that was burned, dark brown. Even God. Okay? And I could get it. Right? Let's get it. Well, get it, nigga. I'll get it. See, my thing is this: I ain't scared of nothing. All right? When you know what is about to happen, by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're not afraid. You want these things to happen. All right? Well, let's get it. Get it right here. Okay. All right, Revelation 4. After this, what must happen after all these things? After these things. At once I was in the spirit, and I saw a throne standing in heaven with someone seated on it. Who could that be? Who could be in heaven sitting on a throne? That would be the Most High God. The one seated there looked like, looked like jasper and carnelian. Oh, there's your alien right there. Carnelian. Okay? And a rainbow that gleamed like an emerald encircled the throne. Right? The one seated there looked like, this is his color, jasper and carnelian. Oh, here we go. What are we going to do now? Jasper and carnelian. Oh, Slovakia. Let's do this. Jasper and carnelian, right? Let's go to images. What color is God? God is dark brown. What is this? Why is this? What's this and why is it there? See the throne? All right. Now his hair was woolly, like the pure wool. All right. They got the color right though. What color is God? Jasper and carnelian. Okay. Get it? He's dark brown. Plain and simple. All right. Go back. The one seated there looked like jasper and carnelian. He had dark brown skin. God. Does Jesus not look like his son? I mean, like his father? If you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Okay. And what do the angels look like? All right. I could go to a picture right now. It says God, Jesus, and the angels. Right? They're little white babies. Caesar Borgia and somebody else that Leonardo painted. Right? Which is all a lie. We could go into that. Anyway, what we will do is we'll go back to what it means to be saved. Okay? And what's going to happen right after the saving. All right? Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they, here's what it means to be saved, ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Okay? This cloud is a spaceship. This heaven is the sky. The spaceship was in the sky. And they, the elect of Israel, got beamed up. And our enemies are going to watch the whole thing. They're going to say, why are these niggers getting beamed up and not me? right? And at that same moment, they're going to look up in the sky. They're going to see those missiles coming. And those missiles, this is right here in North America. All right. Same hour was there a great earthquake. What caused the earthquake? Mutually assured destruction. And the 10th part of the city, this is how we know it's America, all 10 FEMA regions. And the 10th part of the city, all 10 regions, fell. Fell how? In that earthquake caused by those nuclear missiles. And in the earthquake were slain of men. This word 7 means completion. So it says, and in the earthquake, everybody that wasn't beamed up were burned up. Slain of men 7,000. Everybody got burned up in the nuclear strike. Okay? If you didn't get beamed up right before, in that same hour, right before the earthquake, which was those nukes hitting, if you didn't get beamed up into a spaceship abducted by aliens, right, your ass got burned up. Okay? Now let me ask you this question. What I'm saying right now, that God is a black man, and so is his son Jesus. If I were white, I would say, no, that's alien. Those are aliens. That's not God and Jesus. Those are aliens. They don't look like me. That's where that story came from. Okay. Can I show you the aliens? I'll show you the aliens. I just showed you God, right? One seated there looked like Jasper and Carnelian, dark brown. I'll show you more. God is an alien according to the white man. All right? That's where the story came from. The nigga didn't make up the story. Hey, a little green men. No, you got to change. You got to change everything from what it is. All right? You got to turn everything upside down. This is Ezekiel. You know where I'm going. Easy E. Ezekiel 1 and 5? Spaceship is going to come and land, and then the pilots of the spaceship are going to hop out. 4 living creatures. This is talking about the angels and their spaceships. I looked, Ezekiel 1 and 4, I looked and saw whirlwind coming from the north, a great cloud. There's that cloud again, with fire flashing back and forth and brilliant light all around it. In the center of the fire was a gleam like amber, and within it was the form of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. Here's what they looked like, okay? And here's the point where you'll get confused if well, they had straight legs and they look like calf's foot. I'm going to skip all of that, all right? They each had a human form, but each had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight. The soles of their feet were like the hooves of a calf. Here's the part. Gleaming like polished bronze. This is what color they were. Here's the color of the angels. Not little green men. Yes, they were men. Let's get this. What is it, 5? It says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, not a little green goblin, not a lizard, and not an insect. They looked like men. Okay? What color men? What was the color of the man? They, the angels, sparkled like the color. Color doesn't matter. As long as they're green and they look like insects, anything but what we call today a black man. Burnished bronze. What color were the angels? Burnished bronze. Here's what God looked like. Burnished bronze. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. That kind of looks like that jasper and cardinal. See that? Burnished bronze. It is what it is. Okay, so this is the color of the angels. Okay? Let's get God's hair. Daniel's vision of the Ancient of, who is the Ancient of Days? That would be God. We already got the color of his skin. It was dark brown. Daniel 7 and 9, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days, God, did sit. God was sitting. Whose garment? God had on a garment, a white garment, white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Today you would say he had an afro. And here's his spaceship. And his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. There's his spaceship. Okay? What did God's son look like? Well, he looked just like God, didn't he? He's his son. Let's get his color. If the devil don't stop squirming and let me get it. Maybe not. Come on. The devil. There we go. See how the devil works? Squirming. Daniel 10 and 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man. Who's that certain man? Jesus, clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, meaning he had on a green garment. And his face has the appearance of lightning, and his eyes of lamps of fire. Now listen close. Watch for this word, color. And his arms and his feet like in color. That doesn't matter. To what? Polished brass. Burnished bronze. Polished brass. Burned polished brass. Burned, as if they burned in a furnace. Burned brass. See that dark brown? It is what it is. Let's get as if they burned in a furnace. See how you got to do this to bring out the truth? Revelation 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ. Why do we have to reveal what he looked like? Because somebody's lying. All right? Jump down to 10. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet saying, I am the Alpha and Omega. Who's the Alpha and Omega? The first and the last, and what thou seest write in a book. Say that again. What you see is what you get. Whatever you see, write it in a book. Well, they wrote it right here. And I turned to see, and being turned, I saw, and I wrote it in this book. What did you write? And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Burnished brass. What color was Jesus? Burnished brass, woolly hair. His hairs were white like wool. That's texture, as white as snow color. He's fully gray and had woolly hair. He had an afro just like his dad. So it's using the same, okay, the same words, okay, the same language. Brass, burn brass. What color were the angels? Burnished bronze, burnished brass, brass bronze, bronze brass, polished bronze, burnished bronze. Okay, there's brass. Right? Oh, you said bronze. You said bronze. Wiggling like a fucking frog. Your head is squirming like a toad. Burnished brass. Like the color, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Not no little green lizard. Yeah, we all know about the green lizard, right? That's one of them lies. That lie is the same as this lie right here. How about this lie? What about this lie? Is this God? Is this Adam? Is that God? Are these the angels behind God? Who's that? What is this? Is this God? So, God is a white man, and Jesus is a white man. Okay, and Adam. Did you know that Jesus is Adam? Was the first Adam? Okay, so really this is, oh, well, this is God. And look at, you see this brain right there? See that? What is that? What is the devil really saying? Okay, that ain't God. What happens when you type in Jesus? Let's type in Jesus. Who's going to come up? That ain't Jesus. That's Caesar Borgia. That's not Jesus. The scriptures gave you a description of Jesus, and it said he had an afro and dark brown skin. We'll close on this right here. This is 1 John 5 and 10. Okay. He that believeth on the Son of Man hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. What is the record that God gave of his Son? Here is the record, okay, that God gave of his Son. If you don't believe the record, well, color doesn't matter. Well, you don't believe the record. It was recorded right here. Okay? It was recorded right here. His feet were like polished bronze, refined in a furnace. Okay? He had an afro on his head. It doesn't say afro. It says his head was white. His head was white, but his feet were brown. No, it says the hair of his head was woolly and fully gray. That's what white as snow means. Okay? You don't believe the record. All right, let's read that again. What's the record that God gave of his Son? Let's get this. All Scripture God didn't give that record. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction. We're correcting that bullshit, instruction in righteousness. All Scripture. So God did give this description of his Son. What description? Well, he had an afro. It doesn't say that. And today they would call him an African American. Or the N-word. Yeah? All right, so get ready. What's he going to do when he comes back? The original angry black man. What is he going to do in the second coming? He's coming back in a spaceship, y'all. Let's read it right here in the Berean. Who is this coming from Edom? What could that mean? From Basra with crimson-stained garments. Who is this robed in splendor, marching in the greatness of his strength? Okay, well, let's see what this says. Right here. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in his spaceship, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that come in righteousness, mighty to say. What is he traveling in? Let's find out. Behold, he cometh with what? Where's that word at? He is coming with the clouds of heaven. The cloud is his spaceship. Started 2, Psalm 104 and 2. He wraps himself in light As with a garment, he stretches out the heavens like a tent, laying the beams of his chambers in the waters above, making the clouds his chariot, his spaceship. The cloud, he cometh with clouds. He's coming with them spaceships, the one you call UFOs. To do what? And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, did they not? First Thessalonians 4:17. After that, we who are alive and remain will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. What does that mean? It's the same thing we read in this is what it means to be saved. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the spaceships to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. All right. So anyway, hey, here's the point of the video. Here come them missiles. All right. The missiles are coming. So with that, we'll see you tomorrow for the last one of the week. World War III Daily Update. We hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and a few sisters. With that, we're going to say shalom.